My name is Frankie DeBusk. I'm the athletic director here, and today's a very special day for 4 student athletes at Dobyns-Bennett. We want to make it as special for them as we can. This is a tremendous opportunity for them to continue their careers at the collegiate level and go represent not only their family, but Dobyns-Bennett, their friends, and today's an exciting day for all of them. So I tell each and every one of them when they get up here that it's a special day for them, so we need to give all the attention to our student athletes. And what we'll do, we'll start by signing with Jacoby first, and then we'll give the parents time, for Libby's parents time to come up next and get the table decorated, and et cetera, till we're finished with all 4 signees. So with no further taking of my time, we'll get this thing started. I'll turn it over to Nathan Love, our head swimming and diving coach. He's going to say some very kind words about Jack, and we'll get this thing rolling.
Well, good afternoon. Kind words. Well, I can't say enough about Jack. I remember the first practice. You know, he got a little sick to his stomach that day, but he's overcome that by a lot. All right. He's got several accomplishments that he's done athletically. He holds the 100 breaststroke record in the meters, and he's also a record holder on the 200 medley relay. And so there isn't other avenues other than swimming state here. There's the Southeastern swimming. So he swims Southeasterns, and he made a final, which is really a huge accomplishment. And he ended up being 8th place in that. He was a top 16 state finisher. So he qualified for state all 4 years. And I think one of the hugest things is that it's hard to commit for 4 years to do something, but this young man did 12 years of swimming competitively. So it's a pretty amazing feat there. And he also ran for the state cross-country team in 2019. So he's done great work, and we're going to miss him. But this year we're not finished. Our state tournament is not until February, and he may set some new records. You just never know. So he's working hard every single day. I see him in the morning and see him in the evening. And his sister, Grace, she signed with Milligan a couple years ago. And Jack's kind of following that realm. But she went across country and track, and he is going for swimming. So, which I think one of the craziest things I was looking at academically, how do you perform? You work hard in the pool, and how do you perform academically is pretty amazing too. He's got a 4.31 GPA. I mean, that's pretty outstanding. He is 39 out of 543 seniors, which is pretty amazing too. He has an AP Chemistry Award, and he's a DB National Honor Society, and he's a Beta Club member. So he's done a lot of stuff outside of the pool as well. He has a great future. I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen, because he'll be nearby, which is really cool. I like to see that happen. So congratulations, Jack, for signing with Milligan.
Awesome. Picture time. Let me take some pictures there. Small or big, Jack. It's your day, man. You okay? Jack has asked for all the coaches to come up and participate with him, please. I'd like to be in a picture with the coaches. Come on, Coach. I'm looking at you over there. Teammates, please join. Just teammates, he said. Come on up, teammates. Please remember, we are live streaming this today. Wes Franklin and Jimmy Burleson do an incredible job here for us from our media standpoint. So if you have any friends and family, all right, guys, come on in. You got to get closer.
So you two will.
All right, guys, look at the cameras. Take some pictures. Good looking bunch. All right, Jack. Just the boys. Just the boys. His pick. All right, smile big. You good? Let's give one more round of applause to Jack for going to Milligan. Jack, I will ask you, as well as all signees, to hang around at the very end. We'll get all four of y'all up here to take some pictures. All righty, we'll make a change. The Russum family's up next. If I could have your attention, please, we'll move on. We have Miss Libby Russum, who's signing with the University of Tennessee, and I'll turn it over to Coach Love to say a few good things about her.
Libby Russum. What can I say? So she swam, I remember her in middle school, and Jack in middle school, that we were running around, the deck all the time. So, but I got to coach her occasionally in the middle school pool, which was pretty fun. Just to see her grow as an individual. She has accomplished so much in the last year, and she's really got her mind focused, and she's really determined now, which is really kind of cool to watch that happen. Athletically, she has 8 records currently her name's on. The 53 yards, and we do short course meters here at Dobyns-Bennett, and she also has the 100-yard, and this is freestyle, and she has the 100-yard freestyle and the 100-meter freestyle. And she's going to set many more, I think, this season. So that's her goal, I'm sure. Put her name all over it. So she has several relays, more than to count. I think she's on almost every relay, basically, which is a pretty amazing feat in itself. But she's outstanding, just crazy. She does have a regional meet record in the 100 free. So we held that last year. We hosted it. And it was just nice to see finally, a Dobyns-Bennett name up there. And she's going to set it again, I'm sure, this year. I hope a little bit lower. Put it out of reach. Last year, state, we still held state, but it was in April instead of February due to COVID. And she placed 4th in the 50 free and 5th in the 100 free, which is a huge accomplishment in itself. She also was in Southeasterns, just like Jack was, and she was in the A finalist, and she placed 4th in the 50 free, 5th in the 100 free, and 10th in the 100 fly, which is pretty outstanding. Then there's a meet after that called Futures, and so she swam the 50 free, 100 free, and 100 fly in that. And she also swam the Winter Junior National Championship. So she's done above and beyond, some of the stuff that we have here at the high school level. Pretty amazing. So she got her, she was at a swim camp and was there, and one of the coaches from UT noticed her when she was at UT camp and said, "Hey, let's talk," and then started talking. So that's where she's kind of grew that way towards Knoxville, Tennessee, which is where I went to school and I swam. So it's kind of cool to see somebody back in the water there, that I've coached. So it's pretty amazing feat for that. So also academically, she's a strong student as well. She has a 4.29 GPA, and she's 42nd out of 543 students. I don't know if you knew that or not, but pretty amazing. She scored on ACT, she scored above a 30, so she's solid there as well, and she's a Beta Code member. She's active in her church as well. You do a lot of activities, so congratulations, Libby, for signing the University of Tennessee.
Picture time now. Let's take pictures as you just look there. Would you like? All right, she wants her team members up here. Mom and Dad are leaving, and team members, please join. All right, picture time. Smile big. We'll trot right on up there. Just the girls. Trumping you, Jack. Just the young ladies. Smile big. Coaches, please. Coaches, come up for pictures.
It's not like they're
One more round of applause for Libby, Russum, from the University of Tennessee. Next up will be Ethan Lawson and his family. Please come to the table and set it up as you'd like. Okay, if I can have your attention, please, we'll move on with the program. Next up is Ethan Lawson, who's signing at Roane State. I'll turn it over to our head boys golf coach, Michael Holt.
Thanks everyone for being here today. We're here to celebrate Ethan and get him signed with Roane State and move him to the next step in his career, which has really just gotten started, is the beauty of it. So I'm gonna start by reading some statistics. It'll be what's on the sheet that you were given. If you picked one of those up, there's still a few down there. I'm gonna start by reading some statistics and honors, some awards that Ethan's received over his time at Dobyns-Bennett, and then we'll move on to a couple quick stories and get him signed, okay? Ethan first joined the golf team here during his sophomore year. Didn't play as a freshman, came out as a sophomore, and quickly established himself as an integral part of our success. I think he did not play on the varsity squad in one match after he joined the team. That was it. The first match after he joined the team, next thing you knew, there he was. After joining us, he almost immediately began playing varsity golf, and he's continued to grow, which leads us here today. A GPA of 3.7, so he's getting it done elsewhere, not just on the golf course. He's a 2-year member of the Big 8 in golf all-conference first team. Will be attending Roane State and can be competing as a member of the golf team. And I will say, some of his Roane State guys are here in the corner over there as well. So he's gonna have a local flair down there at Roane State this next year. I will say he's gonna be one of the top signees on the top class in their conference, Roane State. They're doing some things down there, okay? And he's gonna be a part of it. Let's start with 2019, when he first joined us. After joining the team, he played that entire season in the 5th position, okay? That's the final golfer on the varsity squad. He held it down all year, did exactly what he needed to do, and helped us win several matches. Moved on to 2020. This is where things got interesting, and I'll have some stories about it very, very shortly, but this is where it got wild, and where Ethan became the Ethan that we know standing here today, and the one I'll be telling stories about when I'm 80. Played the 2020 season in the 5th position as well. He was named all-conference then. His 9-hole scoring average was 40.6, 18-hole scoring average of 81.3. His postseason scoring average was 80. He helped lead the team to the 2020 Big 11 Conference Championship, shooting a score of 78. Next, we moved on to the district championships, where he finished, 13th individually with a score of 81. Then we moved on to the region, which we hosted at Ridgefields Country Club, where he finished in the tie for 8th place individually with a score of 76. More on that in a second. He finished 54th individually at the 2020 TSSAA State Championships at Willowbrook Golf Club with scores of 81 and 84, helping lead our team to an 8th place finish. This year, played the 2021 season in the 2nd and 1st position on our roster, was named first team all-conference, including the honor of being named the 3rd best golfer in the conference and district, okay? His 9-hole scoring average dropped to 36.8. 18-hole scoring average dropped to 77.5 with a postseason average of 75.3. He likes the postseason. He likes it when it counts. That includes a total of 7 rounds under par this season. 7 of his rounds were under par. 1 medalist honors in a total of 4 golf matches, so he won 4 on his own. Led our team to a 3rd place finish at the conference championships, finishing tied for 3rd individually with a score of 72. Led the team to a 3rd place finish at the district, finishing 4th individually, score of 73. And led our team to a 4th place finish at the region championships, finished 17th individually with a score of 81. A couple other notes: junior golf, the Sneds Tour here in Tennessee. He competed on the Sneds Tour this past summer. He participated in a total of 9 events, finishing in the top 25 all 9 times. That includes 7 top 10s out of those 9. 1 second place finish and 2 wins, 2 victories. That's pretty solid for your first year of junior golf, okay? Not too shabby. So now let's move on to the fun part about Ethan, and I'll be brief because I could go on all day. First off, I'm not too sure I'll ever have a story like this one again. As long as I coach in whatever sport that may be, I'm not sure we'll ever have a meteor come through like this one. In a span of 2.5 years, and I mean probably a little bit less than 2.5 years, Ethan went from a kid that decided he wanted to come out for the golf team to here we are today. 2.5 years. Picked the club up, decided I'm gonna play golf. Well, no, I'm not just gonna play, I'm gonna play competitively. I'm gonna play competitively, I'm gonna be real good, and then I'm gonna go to college for it in 2.5 years. So all y'all that think it's too late to, especially some of y'all standing back here, kids that think it's too late to do something, don't ever doubt yourself. Just ask him about it, he'll tell you, I promise, okay? I'm gonna offer you kind of a real quick recap of his journey. I'd really like to tell the full version. If anybody has about 2.5 hours, I'll be out front afterwards, okay? First of all, before we go any further, I think that it's important in this situation that we need to recognize his parents, his whole family. Tim, Sharon, y'all are some special folks, and I mean that for me, not just for Ethan, okay? For me too. Y'all have been everything a coach could ask for, but y'all been a lot more than that, and that you've been a friend to me. You know, y'all been a shoulder for me to lean on too, and that's great. I just want to thank y'all for letting me be a little tiny part of your son's life, because it's been a big part of mine, okay? So he's certainly impacted a lot more people than he realizes right now, and he's a very lucky man to have a family that supports him unconditionally, and friends and those around him. I see a lot of them out here. His Young Life family and everything of that nature that support him unconditionally and love him right through it. So that's a beautiful thing to see. Not every kid has that. 2019, he quickly joined us. He maintained that spot. His consistency and his confidence is what I noticed the most that first year start to grow. Once he got out there and started competing, he realized, wait, I can do this. Okay, I'm actually pretty good. And by the end of the season, I think the mindset had changed. I think it had changed. By the end of that year, I think he very much understood the possibilities that awaited our golf team in 2020. And I think it had become clear to him already that he was going to have to be a big part of that for us to have the success that we were going to have, okay? I knew he had fallen pretty hard for golf. I knew he was infatuated. I didn't think he was in love. I wasn't sure yet, but he was infatuated, definitely. And I was excited to see what happened. Well, that was answered for me very clearly when we returned in July. To say he did his part to make sure we achieved our goals would probably be the most vast understatement I could make. Simply put, I've never seen a golfer, or really an athlete in any sport period, fall in love with a game, decide that they're going to spend every day with that game, genuinely enjoy the grind of getting better. And I mean genuinely enjoy it. That's probably his favorite part. And then be able to translate that work into on-course success. As a result, he transformed himself to a competitive golfer, and it happened quicker than myself or anyone else who's probably ever witnessed it. And I'm talking club pros, I'm talking people that he doesn't even know have talked about this. I don't think anybody's ever seen somebody get good at golf this quick, okay? Regular season went really, really well. In 2020, excuse me. And then we moved to the postseason, and this is where he became Big E, all right? We cruised through the conference tournament. He shot a 78 there. District, 81, played pretty well. Then came the region, we were hosting it at Ridgefields. All of our golfers were in with 5 of 6 golfers. I'm gonna go away from my notes on this, and I like telling it better just offhand, all right? 5 of our 6 golfers had turned their scores in, and I'm looking up, and we're down by 3 strokes to our arch rival. Our arch rival had beaten us many times in a row prior to that and did not mind telling us about it, okay? And we're down 3. Ethan is playing our arch rival's #1 golfer that they had moved to the 5 spot on their team for this very reason, because their coach knew it might come down to this as well. So not only did Ethan have to beat him, he had to beat him pretty well. So he just decided he'd go out there and shoot a 76 and beat him really well and send us to the state tournament out of nowhere. All right, the looks on our faces were probably pretty priceless, but the looks on other faces were even more so, I'd say. So with that being said, that was probably one of the most tense moments I've seen a kid in on an athletic field at the high school level, and he handled it more than like a champ. I mean, he came through for us and sent us to the state tournament. So that was probably one of the cooler things I've ever seen as a coach, as a kid that just picks up a game, falls in love with it, and then all of a sudden it's all validated for him. All that work and everything was validated for him, really. And I think that's why another reason why we stand here today. All right, that story I'll tell forever. I probably don't do a great job because of time limitations here, but that story will stick with me as long as I live. This year he became more than just a golfer, okay? Sure, you heard me read his scores. They continue to improve, but he also brought his teammates with him this year. I saw that leadership come out. Last year it was tough for him to be a leader. I mean, look at our squad, that we had, kids that have been here prior to him. But this year he really understood, without anything having to be said, that it was time for him to take charge, and he did that. He did that. Even when unprompted, when I wasn't around, he did it. I will say this. On the course, he shot the lowest single round that I'm familiar with as long as I've been the coach here at Dobyns-Bennett. All right? He put up a 31 on 9 holes, okay, this past season. Never seen that, might not again. And we've had some pretty good golfers come through here. So that's pretty darn impressive. Now, last things I have to say is this. First, Coach Harris, he's still a brand new toy, baby. He is still a brand new toy coming down your way, and I'm real excited to see what happens. I mean, absolutely thrilled to see what happens. The future is very, very bright for him. And lastly, above all this, Eve, from me to you, in front of all these people, you're a heck of a golfer, but even more so, you're a great young man with an enormous heart. Don't lose those two things, and the sky's the limit, okay? Let's all congratulate Ethan Lawson.
Let's take some pictures with your family now that you've signed that piece of paper that's so important. Coach and teammates. Coach and teammates. Young Life and church friends, please come up. Young Life and church friends. Wow. All right, guys, smile big. Just your parents. Parents, please come back. All right, smile big. Bo and Seth, is that right? Come on, Bo and Seth. Come on up here, guys. Smiles, smiles. All right, guys, one more round of applause for Ethan Lawson. Congratulations. Next up will be Jake Timbes and his family. Okay, if I could have your attention, please. Next up is Mr. Jake Timbes, signing with Belmont, and I'll turn it over to our head baseball coach, Coach Ryan Wagner.
Okay, guys, thanks for being here. I don't want to say thanks to Coach DeBus and Mr. Burleson and all our administration for this nice setup today. So I know it takes some time, and we appreciate you. Let me say thanks to the media for being here. That's important to these kids. And congratulations to all you other signees that are not just good athletes, but great kids. Obviously, I'll kind of just piggyback off everybody else. Jake's a great kid, great student athlete that comes from a great family. Obviously, by looking up here, you can tell one of them looks better than the rest of them, but she's a lot prettier than Jake and Keith and Ethan, but I don't know if y'all got that at first, but I thought I'd throw that in there. She's been a big help to my program, our program the last few years. Just kind of a team mom that communicates, gets a lot of our things together. So we really appreciate what the Timbes have meant to Dobyns-Bennett baseball. Jake also, great student. Well, I'm going to talk about that first. Great leader. Just someone you'd want in your program forever. So he's a part of the Young Life program, as Ethan is, and he's the leader for the Wildlife, which is the middle school group. And so we're proud of his efforts. We're proud of what he does in the school. He has a 4.25 GPA. I think he ranks around 58th out of whatever they said, 533. So some amazing students here today to go along with athleticism that we've heard about. So I'll go back real quick to Jake's freshman year. Jake played ball with these guys growing up, starting probably when he was, 11 or 12 years old, maybe? Younger than that. Anyway, so Jake played a lot of outfield, maybe a little infield when certain guys pitched, but we needed a shortstop his freshman year. We saw what kind of athleticism he had. He had a good arm, had good speed, and he worked all year long. And he started at shortstop his freshman year on a team that won the conference championship. So you don't see that very often. There's been a lot of good baseball players in this area. And I think it's a tribute. We got a lot of our coaches here. They worked with him in the off season, all the way up through the season, got him ready, and he's still, working to be the best high school shortstop he can be. He's signing as a pitcher to Belmont. They're getting a great kid, great athlete, great baseball player, but, I'm glad we have him one more year. I'm looking forward to it and the leadership he brings, along with all our other seniors that are here watching him today. Our coaches did a great job, like I mentioned. Coach, I'm going to mention a couple of them. Coach Burton and Coach Sutherland, who's not here anymore, he took a head coaching position. They took him, and worked with him all off season, and during the season got him ready for that infield work. And then obviously the relationship he has with Coach Bo Burton, our pitching coach, and then Coach Earls, Coach Lowry are here today too. They've all had a big part in his life. Coach Lowry coached him in the summer for several years, and I think they've all done a great job with him. So real quick, I've already said this once. Let's go to his freshman year. We're at Tennessee High, last conference game of the year. They're predicted to win it. They've got a lot of kids back. We're down 5-3. We win the conference championship. And bases loaded, 2 outs in the 5th inning. And a freshman comes up and hits a grand slam. We go up 7-5, still have to finish the deal. If you know anything about that park, it's very small and a lot of runs scored there. So what do we do in the 7th inning? We call on Jake to close the game out as a freshman. So that's one thing I remember as a freshman I'll never forget. And I don't think any of our coaches ever will either. Obviously, his sophomore year in the spring, we were unfortunate to lose our season because of COVID, so we only played a handful of games week 1. And then last year, in 2021, his junior year, he had an amazing year. I'll go over a few stats. Offensively, he batted .406 with 11 doubles, 3 triples, 4 home runs, 31 RBIs, 41 runs, and 20 stolen bases. I'm kind of glad that sophomore year kind of got canceled in a way because he'd be close to my stolen base record all time if it did. I may not let him get there this year. All right, let's go to his pitching stats. 5-3 record. Doesn't sound like anything outstanding, but when you're given the ball against the best of the best, and they're throwing their best at the best, wins are hard to come by. So I think probably the biggest win I can remember last year, his junior year, was us beating Science Hill here in the second game that we played them. Jake was on the mound, and they went on to win the state championship. And we gave them their last loss of the year. Jake pitched, wasn't easy. He battled through 6 innings, ended up striking out several, and then we brought in another young guy that's here today to close that game out. Jake also had 2 hits during the Science Hill game. Pitching stats from last year, he threw 54.2 innings, 19 earned runs, so 54 innings, only gave up 19 earned runs, 88 strikeouts. That's something that's very hard to do. You strike out 88 guys in 54 innings, do the math. And then he had a 2.4 ERA. Jake's freshman year, he was honorable mention All Big 7. Last year as a junior, first team All Big 7. He's the Big 7 pitcher of the year. Again, let me say, I'm glad I got him for another year. He's a great leader. He's great in the school, and he's great on the field and in the weight room and everything he does. He does it 100%. But Belmont will be getting a great kid, great young man, great athlete, Jake Timbes.
Picture time. Players and coaches, please join the family for pictures. Players and coaches. Jake, we may have to do players and then coaches. Is that okay? Because we can't get, they're the ugly group. We'll hold them out over there. All right? Okay, let's take a picture with the players. All right, let's do senior players and coaches. Senior players and coaches. Family gets to stay. All right, let's smile at the cameras. Grandparents, please join the family. Come on up, grandparents, if you would, please. Young Life members, please join. Young Life. All right, smile for the camera. Barry Williams has been recommended to come to the picture. Come on, Barry. All right, this might be the last pictures these cameras will take with Barry in it. We're going to let you take a picture, Barry. Smile real big. All right, one more round of applause for Jake Timbes, headed to Belmont University. If we could get all 4 signees up here at this time, we'd greatly appreciate it. We'll clear the table there and get all 4 signees up here. I do want to say thank you to all the media members that are present today. It means a lot when you're here to help support Dobyns-Bennett Athletics, and we greatly appreciate it. And again, if it wasn't for Wes Franklin and Jimmy Burleson, we would not be able to pull this off, so thanks to those guys as well.